Am I doing that properly? I'm not Gen Z. I'm not Gen Z. How's everybody doing? Good evening. Good evening. I am over 55 minutes late. I am so sorry. Guys, at this point, you should know that I never get here on time. Not an excuse. It's not an excuse. I am so sorry. So for those of you who may have missed it, I don't work Mondays anymore. So to make up for the hours, I have to work longer hours. And because of that reason, I can't leave work before 7:30 or sometimes later. But because I love you guys and I got to give you the tea, I accommodate you. Normally I would start at 6 o'clock, but because I have to leave work at 7:30, it's not appropriate for me to start by that time unless I work earlier. So yeah, I'm so sorry that I am late. Please forgive me. I can't say I know not what I did. This was intentional, so I'm so sorry. But hopefully you guys, for those of you that are able to watch my videos, thank you so much. I want to appreciate each and every one of you. This is officially my almost 1 year, and I can't believe it's only been 1 year. Bloody hell. Almost 1 year anniversary of doing the Meghan thing. And when I started off with this journey, I started off by dragging Blake Lively for her lying ass. And anybody who still believes that Blake Lively is telling the truth, I don't know what to tell you at this point. I mean, it means that you really you have. I think if you believe Blake Lively is telling the truth, can we just agree that you have turned off your those brain cells that you need for critical thinking? Let's agree that you've turned it off because that is preposterous. Blake Lively is guilty of falsely accusing somebody of sexual harassment because she tried to steal his film. It slapped her in the tits. And instead of doing what most people do when they are caught out being stupid, you humble yourself. And the funny thing is, she actually has the money to vanish for like 4 or 5 years. We don't hear from her again and just come back incrementally. But no, I think the reason why she and Ryan have stuck to this nonsense is because they both know that their careers are over in Hollywood. Not because Hollywood is some sort of bastion of integrity and kindness. Oh no. But because nobody likes a litigious person. Nobody wants to work with a litigious person. Even when that person is wrong. Who wants that stress? You know, and Hollywood is not what Hollywood used to be, especially Hollywood in America. People can go anywhere in the world thanks to the streaming services, create their content and sell it. So, and interestingly, that could actually work in Blake Lively's favor because I don't know any American production that's going to take that risk. If she goes to China, Middle East, she's a tall, blonde, white woman. She will be Bollywood. Hell, even Nollywood, they would welcome her racist stars with open arms and give her the glory that she deserves. But that's not Blake Lively for you. Blake Lively is a Hollywood kid. So she wants to get vindicated. Again, I don't know why she went through all this. People get dragged on the internet. I have never ever in my life heard anybody of millennial age. It's one thing if Blake Lively was a boomer like her husband. Blake Lively is what, 38? So she must know how the internet works. Why do you think people who pick up a trend and stick to that trend because it's going to help them get views will be bots? I mean, and this is the thing. If I have to hand it to her and her idiot husband. If you had told me that this case was going to go on this long, I would have said, nah. Mm-mm, mm-mm. But clearly, narcissism is really a disease. I want, and for those of you that are like, oh, why is she keeping it up? Let me just humble all of you. Ryan Reynolds is not that rich. Many of these people, when they make money, right? They don't actually have cash on hand. A lot of them through, shell companies and shady ass deals. It's not so much the cash they have in hand, it is what they can bring, the value they can bring. Many of these celebrities are heavily leveraged. They have loans up to the wazoo, right? So if you look at Ryan Reynolds Holdings, his ownership of a football club, his maximum effort marketing business. I'm sure he owns some productions. I'm sure he has some IP. All of this is not cash in hand. He has to sell these things. And this is why your reputation is important. Because if everything you own is tied to your brand, you have to be careful. Your brand has to be high, right? I mean, this case has revealed so much about Hollywood. It's revealed so much about these celebrities. It's revealed so much about white America, to be honest, and capitalism. And look, if you're a young up and coming actor, musician, artist, content creator, just go independent. I'm serious. Own your stuff. IP everything. Own your IP. It might take you 10 years longer. Hell, you might have to go groveling in places you don't want to go groveling in to get money. But there's nothing like ownership, because Hollywood, traditional Hollywood, is awful. Do you guys remember Avatar? Yeah, the movie. According to what Matt Damon used to tell everybody, Matt Damon used to tell everybody that he was initially offered the role of Jake Sully in Avatar, but he turned it down because I can't remember why he said he turned it down. But he kept on telling everybody that, oh, it's his biggest regret, because he was going around saying things like, I lost 10% back end taking. What that means is he gets paid his actor rate plus box office, right? And I think we can agree that Avatar is probably a multi-billion-dollar profitable IP and franchise that belongs to James Cameron. And James Cameron came out to say, yes, we did offer Matt Damon, but nobody, not one person, offered him any back end on box office, which was funny. So yeah, these actors have, I think a lot of these actors have lost their bloody mind, like anybody will when you make. And this is the problem. I've always said this, guys. Anybody who does what we do wants attention. Let's keep it 500%. We all like attention. We like the sound of our own voice, right? But I really do believe people like all these big end, because even me, like, while I would love to grow my audience because to make me money, there's a certain level of growth that I will get to that I'll be like, ooh, maybe I should start hiding my face, because I don't want my likeness out there, right? I still want to be able to exist in the real world, right? But I think a lot of these actors, right, especially the ones that start really young in their careers, they get so used to paparazzi, they get so used to being the pinup boy or girl, that many of them crawl up their own asses and stay there. It completely makes it difficult for you to be normal, to think like an average person. Because why would you think that you can advertise a film about domestic violence selling florals? Every time I look at that Blake Lively camp, you know what? Let me quickly. And guys, for those of you who are just sorry, I got into it. Like I said, I'm doing a mini retrospective. It is approximately 1 year since I started properly posting, talking about Meghan especially. And the very first video I had the courage to post was a tiny short dragging Blake Lively. So I feel it is only fitting to give a mini off-point intro into Blake Lively and where we are before I get right into the tea. So if you guys don't mind, let me quickly remind everybody why Blake Lively is the absolute freaking worst, and why I have zero sympathy for her ass. This is Blake Lively. For those of you who may not have seen it, this is Blake Lively marketing a film about domestic violence. Ladies and gentlemen,
what is your favorite reason to give or receive flowers? For me, it's being in love, but I'd love to know what it is for you.
Just random.
Just
Random
because?
flowers. Just a flower, and you're like, what? What is
Yeah,
this? My
it just
husband
makes your
does that
day.
sometimes. So it's just like a note and a flower. It's incredible.
What is your favorite reason to give or receive flowers? For me, it's being in love, but I'd love to know what it is for you.
Just random.
Just
Random
because?
flowers. Just a flower, and you're like, what? What is
Yeah,
this? My
it just
husband
makes your
does that
day.
sometimes. So it's just like a note and a flower. It's incredible.
What is your favorite?
now I'm not being shady. Nothing wrong with, praising her husband. But I want to remind everybody that this film was about domestic violence. It ends with us was about domestic violence. And this is what Blake Lively
Blake
was doing.
Lively embraced summer with a stunning array of floral dresses, each outfit showcasing a different side of her style. From a flowing maxi dress to a bold midi and a romantic evening gown, she captivated with every floral look, proving once again why she's a fashion icon.
You know?
Blake Lively
And I think
embraced summer with a stunning array of floral dresses.
sorry guys. And I think the thing with Blake Lively and what people couldn't get over, if this was I think I don't know when it happened, but all of a sudden, guys, people started becoming a bit more what's what I'm looking for. People got tired of celebrities. I can't pinpoint the exact moment people started losing their temper with celebrities, and it was just a very unfortunate confluence of events that made Blake Lively's marketing of a film about domestic violence like Barbie Part 2 that I think it finally pushed a lot of people over the edge. So yeah, let me listen to this lady. Just one more, then we can get right into topics. This is for the people that still believe.
Covers domestic violence, but it's not about domestic violence. It's about this woman.
Let's talk about the way that Blake Lively has been promoting It Ends With Us and how it's problematic, especially for a movie about domestic violence. So you might have seen this promo video. It's still on the It Ends With Us TikTok account. And in this video, she is sitting next to, I believe, Colleen Hoover. And she tells the viewer to grab your friends, wear your florals, and go see the movie, implying this is a lighthearted movie, rom-com, chick flick, and it most definitely is not. Full disclosure, I haven't seen the movie yet. Seen a lot of TikToks about the movie, and I've heard that the movie itself and the domestic violence portrayed within it drew audible gasps within the movie theaters and then sobs from people as well. So marketing it as this is irresponsible. Her character's name in the film is Lily Bloom, and she has been wearing a floral. Critique here would be that it's not about you, and it's not
A story that covers domestic violence, but it's not about domestic violence. It's about this woman.
Let's talk about the way that Blake Lively has been promoting It Ends With Us and how it's problematic.
It's really weird. What do you mean a film about domestic violence is not about domestic violence? I'm confused. It's like, so what if the film was about the story of Lily Bloom, including from when she was a child, the events of the violence, and afterwards? Yes, but it still covers a very heavy theme, aka domestic violence, Blake. So why would your dizzy ass think, especially something as deeply painfully traumatic as domestic violence, why will your ditzy ass think it's appropriate to advertise it like the next Barbie movie? And what we have discovered over a year of this nonsense is Blake Lively also tried to be cast as Barbie. She did a lot of things behind the scenes and in front of the scenes to undermine Margot Robbie and the Barbie movie experience. Of course, she got shut down. And this is what I'm saying, guys. This case over the past year has revealed so much about how Hollywood works. And that's why I said, and I'll say it again, if you are an up and coming content creator, musician, artist, actor, own your stuff. I'm not saying don't grow up looking up to all these directors or actors, but I need you to understand these are human beings like me and you. And from what we have seen, these are terrible people. Now, where the case has gotten up to, unbelievably, Blake Lively and Ryan are actually getting ready to go to trial. Justin Baldoni has handled this with the grace that is just honestly impressive. I genuinely see him having a very successful career after this. What I think Justin Baldoni has done through this case is been like a cautionary tale for a lot of smaller studios, content creators, actors, and people who want to control their IP. Hollywood, if you allow yourself to get too carried away with the Hollywood of it all, they will ruin your life. because they need you to be in awe of them. They need you to be impressed by them. And if you don't, and if you're not, they will punish you. I personally believe there are a lot of people in Hollywood that hate Justin Baldoni because they hate the fact that this smaller guy, who nobody knew from Adam, backed by a billionaire, was able to take an A-lister and his idiot wife and drag them for over a year. Because don't get it twisted, the millions that has been spent on this case, a lot of people cannot afford it. And I think that's what Blake Lively and her husband were banking on. This is how wicked these people are. They were banking on the fact that, or they were banking and hoping that, oh, he wouldn't be able to afford it to fight back. They could come after him and he will run away. So shout out to his billionaire backer, Steve Sorowitz. And shout out to, Justin Baldoni is a very religious person, whatever your spirituality is. I believe that praying really helped him as well. I believe his spirituality also saved him. I believe the fact that he surrounded himself with his wife told him, record everything, keep all the receipts. And that's where we are today. So if you learn anything from this Blake Lively case, I guess in summary, stop being impressed by all these. Stop looking up to people. People are human. Um, and quite a lot of the people that you're looking up to, people that enjoy adulation and adoration, are narcissistic. They enjoy the attention. They have an inflated sense of self. Believe in yourself. Protect your shit, right? And just, if you can create on your own, if you can protect yourself, please do so. I think the Blake Lively case, personally, I'm hoping it doesn't get to trial because I don't think Justin Baldoni deserves it. But if it does, from what I've seen, Blake Lively is screwed. She doesn't have a case. And I'm curious to see how this goes. I hope Justin Baldoni does not settle, because I think what will be good is after this case finishes, when he's ready, a lovely documentary about the whole process. I think a lot of streamers would love to buy it from him. Or even if he doesn't want to sell it, even doing it as a film, writing it into a screenplay could make him all could I would watch. I will always support the Justin Baldonis of the world. Oh, and fuck Blake. So in celebration of my 1 year anniversary, that was a quick, almost, I didn't plan to talk about it, so it was a bit disorganized. So that was a quick run through of the very first proper video that I posted. Thank you, Nelly. Hello, everyone. Please engage in the chat if you're listening. And yeah, so guys, enough of that Blake Lively nonsense. Let's get back to it. Like I said, I hope everybody is doing okay. It's a Friday, ladies and gentlemen. It's 8 p.m. in the UK. And let me go back to scaring everybody before I talk about the extremely successful, but not really unsurprising, visit to Jordan by our faves, Meghan and Harry Sussex. Let's talk about how Kate Middleton is scaring children, ladies and gentlemen. Kate Middleton is out here in the ether terrorizing Welsh children, terrorizing babies, looking like a witch from a children's horror, because instead of the British press to focus on the fact that their future queen really has an eating disorder, they want to be spreading lies, misinformation, gaslighting, and bullshit about Harry and Meghan. I mean, look at this child. So for those of you who may have somehow missed it, Skeletor, aka Kate Middleton, and Billy Idol dragged themselves to Wales to terrorize children because Harry and Meghan were in Jordan doing the Lord's work. Don't worry, this is going to be a very Harry and Meghan heavy podcast. I got you, because even I want to catch up on everything they've been doing. But so that's why I want to quickly get over these Kate Middleton terrorizing children nonsense out of the way. Meanwhile, Kate and Billy Idol traveled to Wales. They remembered they were the prince and princess of Wales to go harass children in Wales. Now, this is the thing I have with Kate, right? This is a happy hour always causes me so much secondhand. Like, why are they so awkward though? In the year of our Lord 2026, how can you people still be this awkward? Hmm? Do you know what? Go to America, hire a PR agency. Americans know how to sell bullshit. Hell, go to Korea, get a K-pop consultant. Anyone, right? Because this is some this is the second time Kate Middleton has forced innocent children to stand in the rain so that she can get her photo up. And she looks just as dreadful as she did, what was it, 6 months ago? If you guys haven't forgotten, Kate Middleton terrorized everybody with, I don't even know why to call it, a wig or some extensions September last year. It was around my birthday, so I wasn't online. I remember coming online and having the terror of my life when I saw her jumped up wig. I don't know if she ran under it and threw it in the air and let it land on her head because it was poofy. It didn't look like it had been plucked. She looked an absolute hot mess. As usual, Billy Idol was doing everything in his power to avoid letting his body touching her. I don't know what the heck is. Do you know what? We've already spoken about it on Monday. So this was Kate from last year who didn't learn any lessons. Here she is again. What is she doing? Kate, it is raining. So obviously she's trying to do whatever the hell this is. A Meghan, I guess. I can't say it's a Meghan because Meghan will never allow children to be standing in the rain, getting drenched, so that she can get her moment. Because if you look at the guys, look at the state of these two children. They are wet in the rain. And let's be clear, it is February in the UK. It is February in Wales. It is cold. She's making these babies stand outside in the rain to play tic-tac. What is this? Scissors? What is that? She's making them play outside so she can get her camera moment. Why? Because she and her idiot husband think this is somehow on the same level or is going to overshadow Harry and Meghan in Jordan serving humanitarian purposes with the WHO in aid of war casualties from Gaza. Let's do that title comparison. William and Skeletor in Wales terrorizing children versus Harry and Meghan in Jordan, where they were invited by the head of WHO to on a humanitarian mission, right? To see how the donations they were making were being spent to rehabilitate and help victims of Gaza. Mind you, if I asked a random person who has been in a coma for 15 years, who do you think is tax funded between the two I just mentioned? I'll leave that with you. So I want you, British people, I want you to know that Kate Middleton is using your taxes to terrorize your children in the rain because she wants her photo op moment. And let's be very clear about something. Even the adults, oh dear Lord. Like I said, Kate is out here terrorizing children in Wales, and and here is my thing, right? This is how much you, even if she wanted the photo up, is there any reason why these kids can't be in a classroom or in a class? You see, sorry, I should have started with this picture. When I first saw this picture, I won't lie, I was working, I almost dropped my phone, I recoiled. Guys, I recoiled. Why is Kate, let me make the video bigger, please. Why is Kate looking like this? Hmm? Kate, the Ranger fans, would you like to explain to the house why your queen is looking like? Let me just expand the picture, sir. Because I feel like we should look at this picture closely. I want to remind everybody that Kate is 44 years old. I know for white people, 44 is with your skin with the lack of melanin, 44 is a death sentence. For context, I don't even know what to use for context. What? Wait, why is this picture not expanding? This is a 44-year-old woman, by the way. She's not, because to me, she looks a hard 60. Look at her hands. Look at her face. And let me be very clear. The reason Kate looks like this is no other reason than she is literally starving herself. Now, I said it before, as a black woman, I do not understand why a lot of white men and women want to look like skeletons. I always assume that white women want to be look very slim because white men like their women to look like they don't have any. Well, it's like I wonder about this so much, right? You say you are attracted to a woman. A woman has boobs. A woman has some buttocks. The softness of a woman is what is at. I'm just saying, guys, that is attractive, right? I don't know. I'm not into girls. I'm a unfortunately heterosexual woman, sadly. So I like men. But as a woman, but I can appreciate a beautiful woman. My idea of an ideal woman shape is Megan the Stallion. Long legs, big round buttocks, big heavy breasts, slim waist, stunning, absolutely eye-catching. But then again, I'm African. I know white people, you people don't like your women looking like women. You want no tits, no ass. I don't understand why. Because if you don't want her to look like a woman, there are two things here. Either you are a PDF file, sorry, or you might be gay. Women are supposed to have tits. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Women are supposed to have tits. So can someone explain to me why Skeletor is looking like this? I believe that she is starving. I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. I think she's doing this stuff for attention. There, I heard it. She's doing it for attention at this point. Because what is this? This is Getty images, by the way. No airbrushing. Check the Getty. What is this? At this point, ladies and gentlemen, they know she looks bad. At this point, this is intention. They know this woman is not well. If come on, I know some of you are doing too much on Ozempic. I know because I've seen Demi Moore recently. She looks like a prepubescent 12-year-old boy. I know you people are doing way too much on Ozempic, but this is not Ozempic. I genuinely believe that allegedly that Kate Middleton has an eating disorder, and people around her know she has an eating disorder, and they're not doing anything about it. And it is, and look, I don't like it. I really couldn't care less. If her so-called fans, the Rangers, who keep on telling us that she's better than Meghan, are not doing anything to speak out about their queen, she can drop dead for all I care. But it is triggering to see her look like this. Mm? Mm? Let's be clear. If Kate and William are really going to America this year, the American media is not going to hold back. Hmm? They are not going to hold back. They're not going to be nice. They will ask you, what is going on with Kate? Hideous. Before we leave this topic, because she's scaring me now, let me show you guys this particularly evil picture of Kate. I mean, I feel like you could literally sense the evil in her essence. What's happening? You see her here with this child because in her mind she's probably thinking she ate with that. To me, she looks horrifying. Look at how tiny she looks. The hell is this? Kate, is there something that you want us to know? She looks like, do you know what she looks like? This looks like a shot from a movie where the evil woman wins. Or she's letting you know how she's an evil character and she's staring right into the camera and you know she's the evil character, but she's surrounded by children and it's weird and uncomfortable. If someone told me this is from a horror, I would believe them. I'll be like, oh my God. Kate, girl. Look, these people don't like you. See her face. Oh my God. It's very upsetting, y'all. I know we don't like kids. I know we don't like her. But watching somebody struggle with eating disorder is triggering. It's upsetting. Oh, I'm so sorry for going off topic, guys. I'm so sorry. So sorry. You know, I was talking about Blake Lively. This just popped up on my FYP. So Justin Baldoni sued Blake Lively for 400 million for her lying ass. And they also sued the New York Times. But unfortunately, the judge, because when you file a sexual harassment claim in America, all your communications are protected on that case. And the reason they do that is to avoid retaliation, right? So his case was dismissed. However, so I think they understand that they can't sue Blake, but they are going to appeal their lawsuit against the New York Times. I love that for New York Times. And New York Times deserves that shit because what do you mean? You received information from someone you didn't do as a journalist. When you receive information, you have to always verify it so that it's not just one-sided. You received information from Blake. Thanks to the year of depositions and evidence, we now know that Blake doctored text messages. She exaggerated things. She full on lied. They didn't do any of their verification checks, and they went to write a very damaging article in the New York Times. And Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer sued New York Times, but it got dismissed. And I was so and the thing is, guys, not that we've seen all the discovery, all the text messages, all the nonsense. Everybody kept on asking, why did the judge dismiss this case? I am so glad they've appealed it. So basically, Justin can't sue Blake because of the retaliation protection, but they can sue New York Times, and they're appealing. So I'm very happy for them. It's breaking news. So we're talking about Skeletor, and I know that I have terrorized everybody, and I am so sorry. So, Jesus Christ. Ah! So what I'm going to do now, guys, as a palate cleanse, is to quickly walk through all the goodies that came out of Harry and Meghan's humanitarian visit to Jordan. Um, they, I have all my articles, so I'm going to walk it back. Ew. We're going to watch some videos. We're going to, see the impact of their visit. I said it a few days ago, and I'll say it again. While I think the British monarchy's continued survival is an abomination, is unnatural, and they shouldn't be here, if you are going to be here, you are going to use as a way to make up for all the shit you have done incrementally over the centuries. You should use your platform to do some good in the world. So we're going to quickly recap through, and I want to say something, guys. As you know, this was a surprise trip, and Harry and Meghan did not invite anybody in the British royal route, and they can all go to hell, which I know is, killing them softly. But I will say this. Hey, Meg. Meg is looking stupendous as usual, looking fresh and clean. I think we've already seen this video. So I have some new videos. Yes. So this is Meghan from the day. I love the gray, ladies and gentlemen. It's giving chic. It's giving expensive, but I'm on a humanitarian mission. Now, I don't want to diminish the work that they're doing. I am going to raise my hand and say that I believe Israel has committed and continues to commit genocide against Gaza. I don't give a shit if you cancel me for it. I am not blind. I had to block Gaza content because I kept on seeing children's bodies being blown apart and people being killed and raped, and it was too much for my mental health. And at some point, I even left X and went on Threads because it was too much. So what you're not about to do is gaslight me. This is violence. This is cruel. This is wickedness. And just because you call out the genocide, it does not make you anti-Semitic. Don't play in my face, Israel. Nobody is calling for violence against Israel people, Jewish people. What we are talking about is the Israel state is committing acts of war crimes against people. And it is wrong. And there's no other country in the world that will be doing 1/5 of what they are doing in Gaza and will not be drawn apart by the UN. But all of a sudden, everybody can't see, can't hear. If you call it out, you are anti-Semitic. Kiss my ass. Anyway, Harry and Meghan. Sorry, I'm having some of Meghan's chocolate. Sorry. Mm, sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm having some of the chocolate. And somebody said something in a live I went to a few days ago, and I agree. The Gaza conversation, a lot of political parties will not even speak about it. A lot of so-called very visible celebrities are still refusing to speak up about it. And I don't think any member of the royal family. Okay, no, wait, sorry. Let me give it to Billy Idol. Billy Idol actually tried to say something about it, but was slapped in the face. I was laughing so hard when I read that. They dragged him to hell and back. They told him that he should go and reconcile with his brother before he teaches us anything. Ooh, I screamed when I read that. Okay, yeah, it was last year. It was last year. Even the British media came out to drag William that he shouldn't have said anything. That's when I knew that okay. But the fact that Harry and Meghan have, and this is what I'm saying, this is why Harry and Meghan will always be the stars. They don't need the titles. Harry and Meghan can be stripped of their titles today. It won't make a damn difference because of things like this. Because they said, nah. Imagine, guys, if they were still under the British monarchy, if they were still under the British royal family, guys, they wouldn't have been able to come here. Mm? And these are the many ways that the modern royal family needs to stop. Because what do you mean? You have all this privilege. You know all these rich people. You have all this access. And you can't use it to do good in the world? So what is the point? Hmm? And I want to remind everybody, the British royal family keep telling all of us they don't have any mandate. They are just figureheads. Then how come people can't speak up for the causes they want to? Hmm? Is it because it doesn't really have anything to do with their mandate, but because it's financial? The reason why they don't speak up on Israel publicly or Gaza publicly is because a lot of the people that have interests are who are funneling money to them. It's all part of their money laundering scheme, guys. Because they're taking bribes because these people own them. So they can't speak. Just a reminder to that point. The head of BAFTA, Billy Idol, people were called the N word. Did William release any statement? Did he say anything? No. But I bet you if that guy has screamed an anti-Semitic comment, William would have issued a statement. Hmm? What are we doing here? William and Meghan and Harry using their platform, the celebrity that they understand they don't deserve, to highlight issues is good. Am I saying it's going to stop the war in Gaza? Unfortunately, no. But the headlines reminds people what is at stake, the cost of their silence. And that is how you use your undue influence to help people. You donate, you raise awareness. And that is why when the House of Windsor goes down and the House of Windsor is on fire on the ground, the House of Sussex, I told you guys that the Andrew situation was going to completely transform the Sussexes. Didn't I tell you guys? This is an unprecedented amount of good press. And they didn't even need the royal water to be there. Do you know how many news outlets from all over the world, from the Middle East, America, Asia, are reporting on this visit? Africa. Now put this tiny useless island against the rest of the world. It's nothing. It's nothing. The Sussexes have nothing to do with PDF file Andrew. They have nothing to do with Billy Idol and Skeletor. They are a standalone international brand. So take their titles. I don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't need it. It's Harry and Meghan. They don't need those titles. Is it their birthright? Yes. And let me tell you something, right? When I've always said something, you cannot and you should not internalize how people treat you. It's on them. They are the ones that are going to look stupid. Move with grace, move with integrity. When you move with grace and you move with integrity, the people, the animals against you are exposed. The British media can write whatever they want now. What does that matter? Look at the faces that are smiling. The head of WHO, Jordanian royal families. Do you know all the people subconsciously and consciously they are building goodwill with by doing this? trip. People that felt that have felt displaced, disrespected, ignored. They won't forget this. And they matter. See all the smiling faces. So a lot of people, let's give it 500%. They've forgotten about Gaza. Check the Getty. They will remember. And I want to tie this back. Do you guys remember last year when some idiots online were throwing a tantrum because Harry and Meghan did not want to be affiliated with slurs or racist symbols in the name of supporting Gaza? And they were throwing a tantrum that Harry and Meghan never speak about anything. Where are they now? Many of them that were bitching and complaining online, ask them how many times they have contributed to any Gaza charity or any Gaza cause. They will tell you no. You just to come online and bitch on the internet for content. And if Harry and Meghan were listening to you people, God knows where they would be. When you're doing right and you're living in your truth, you don't have to be doing optics. Look at them looking like king and queen. Meanwhile, your future queen and king are terrorizing children in Wales. Sorry, guys, I have to go back a bit. Ah, shit. I have to go down. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Live in your authenticity. Live in your truth. Do your good in this world. Goodness will find you. I'm serious. Live in your truth. The goodwill in the Middle East. Harry and Meghan are building off this trip. Even if that was not what their intention, they won't forget it. It's not William traveling to the Middle East to go and beg criminals for money for his private charity. This is them actually doing good in the world. And they are the only royals, let's keep it 500%, that are bringing any type of goodwill to the British royal family. And I won't lie, low-key pisses me off because this goodwill that they are bringing inadvertently to the British royal family, those bitches don't deserve it. That's why I said, you know what I'm going to do, guys? Going forward, no more Princess Meghan, no more Prince Harry and Meghan. This thing, they built it on their own back. And I'm not going to allow the British royal family and their shit show rota to steal their thunder. They built it on their back. Now let's listen to Harry's wonderful interview yesterday with Channel 4. Let's do it.
In Gaza. The Duke of Sussex was speaking in Jordan, where he and Meghan met children at a refugee camp at the invitation of the Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus. Paul McNamara has been speaking to both men and joins us from Jordan. Paul.
Yeah, the humanitarian situation in Gaza is dire. Nowhere in the region is shouldering as much of the burden as here in Jordan, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were left in no uncertain terms about just how desperate the situation is over the last 2 days. They are walking a diplomatic tightrope. Prince Harry's people did not want him answering questions about Israel. The Prince did not want to answer questions about his uncle, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, because the fear is that then every headline would be about that and not about what is unfolding in Gaza and the refugee camps here in Jordan. And in fairness, it's a standpoint that they have backed up with cash. $500,000 which they donated to humanitarian organisations, including the World Health Organization, just before Christmas. Speaking to the Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, he said actually that money attracted yet more money. But the need here is vast, as you're about to see from our report, and a warning, it contains disturbing images from the start.
A trickle that should be a torrent. At the specialty hospital in Jordan's capital, they want more patients, more evacuees from Gaza. Patients like 14-year-old Aisha, who had to wait 5 months for the treatment she needs from an Israeli airstrike that killed her 8-year-old brother.
I woke up and I thought my leg was going to split in half. There was only a small part holding it together. I thought I lost my leg. I started screaming, begging, please don't amputate my leg. Do anything, but don't amputate it.
As hard as it is to get patients out of Gaza, it's equally difficult to get many medical supplies in because of Israeli restrictions. The shortage of equipment, the shortage of people who can use it too.
Many of the doctors in Gaza, they died because of the war. Many. And many of the specialties, there's no doctors that cover that specialties anymore. And many doctors from all the world, they try as much as they can to get inside, but it's not allowed.
The ceasefire in Gaza was declared 4 months ago. This was the scene east of Gaza City today. Palestinian health officials say 600 people, including children, have been killed here since October. Israel says it's near daily strikes of retaliation against militants who violated the truce. It's not just Palestinians that have fled to Jordan. This vast refugee camp is home to more than 50,000 Syrians, many of whom don't want to return despite the fall of the Assad regime.
I want to be in the future doctor.
Oh, and you want to be in Jordan being a doctor?
Yes.
Jordan's home?
Yes, doctor. No, Syria, in Jordan.
For 2 days, the World Health Organization has hosted the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in Jordan, a chance to see how their $200,000 donation is being spent and shine a spotlight on the WHO's work. But it's an organization the US has withdrawn support and funding for at a time of exceptional need.
Well, earlier on I caught up with Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the head of the World Health Organization, and I started by asking him to paint a picture for us of just how broken the healthcare system is in Gaza.
The current humanitarian situation in Gaza is catastrophic. Of course, we welcome the peace deal, and we hope that will turn into a permanent ceasefire. But the situation is still catastrophic because, there is extreme deprivation of the population, and at the same time, the healthcare system is actually shattered. So that's, in general, what the situation is. Of course, there is improvement since the ceasefire, but it's a marginal improvement, and a lot has to be done.
But in your assessments, which the WHO must be doing safety assessments, does the Israeli argument stand up?
I think in terms of the extent of control they have, the risk they say is minimized, so I don't see it. I think they can open up more. And that's what I was expecting also with the ceasefire, but that's not happening. It's really a marginal improvement, and I hope they will improve.
You are facing a huge demand for what the WHO does for your services at a time where you face a bit of a funding crisis and the USA has pulled out of the WHO. How detrimental is what Donald Trump has done to what you provide to the world?
Of course, the withdrawal of the US is a lose-lose one, because it's not about the world only. And, staying in WHO for the US is actually in its best interest. So it's a loss for the US, and it's also a loss for the rest of the world. And with the rest of the world, I said, their contribution and Their leadership has been very critical and important, and their cooperation, that's what the rest of the world is missing, but at the same time they will also be losing. Of course, after the announcement of the US withdrawal, we have been doing restructuring, revised our budget. Of course, they have announced that they have left, but it's the assembly that will decide in May. And as we speak, we still work with them because, as I said earlier, withdrawing from WHO has consequences for the US. So we still share information with them because, especially on health security, because this is a safety issue. And we want the American people to be safe, so we share information with them on a regular basis.
Given that the WHO is facing a funding crisis, that you've lost the US money, how important is A, the vast sums of money that private donors like the Duke and Duchess of Sussex can give you, and B, the spotlight that they help throw on your work?
You know, it's not just the funding alone. The key is the advocacy we do together. And that itself can also bring resources, because it's not just the money. Even the amount of time the Duke and Duchess are spending in supporting us, the advocacy can bring support, can bring resources, but at the same time can bring awareness as well.
Well, Dr. Tedros and Prince Harry have actually formed quite a close relationship, and rather unexpectedly, Prince Harry then joined us. And again, he's adamant that he wants the focus of this trip to be what's unfolding in Gaza and in Jordan, and not what's unfolding in London or Windsor with his family. Look, I understand you don't wish to talk about your family, your uncle, things back in London. You're here because you don't want to distract from the work that you're doing on the WHO and on Gaza. So firstly, why are you here in Jordan? Why is it so important to you?
I think having spoken to Dr. Tedros for many months now, or years, but specifically months in the lead up to this trip, it was really important for us to highlight the incredible work that Jordan does for this region. I think the work's been going on for decades, but more so recently as being a humanitarian hub for the Middle East, and especially everything that's going on in Gaza and also Syria as well. So I think the world should be incredibly grateful for what Jordan is doing and the moral leadership that it's showing for the world right now.
Yesterday, we were with you at a hospital where children are still being brought in who have only recently been injured in Gaza. How important is it that the world continues to pay attention here?
I think it's important for everybody. It's not just for me. It's not just for Dr. Tedros. I think the entire world has spoken up, and there's a lot of stuff in the news. It goes at an incredible pace, and what's been happening in that region has been going on for a long time, and it drops out of the news. So I think it was a really important time for us to collaborate and come here and shine a light and focus on the very real humanitarian catastrophe that has happened and continues.
We were with you this morning at a charity that is getting food into Gaza and is feeding 1 million people a day, but they're saying they're not getting anywhere near enough food. Medical aid isn't getting in, journalists aren't getting in. Would you like to see an increase in all those things going in? Would you like to see independent journalists being let into Gaza?
I think again the world has spoken many times. So I think yes, everything that I've heard and everything that I've seen, especially from World Central Kitchen, what we heard this morning on the live link, was that the food, the aid corridors need to be opened. They're currently not, and I know that Dr. Tedros has already talked extensively about food and medical supplies. The basic needs for full access for humanitarian organisations to be able to deliver that aid to the people that need it the most.
Dr. Tedros, Duke Sussex, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for that.
And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I just wanted us to listen to the interview together, because again, and you know what? I don't know if it was the journalist's intention, but I love how he made it clear that you could tell the journalist took this seriously. He wasn't looking for gossip. He wasn't looking for a sensation. He knew why he was there. And you could tell he was serious about it. because of the richness of his questions. He was asking the right questions, and that's it. I get the impression that Harry hates the press, as he should, especially the British press, because they have no shame. But like, and look, I'm not saying Harry is ever going to invite them back. Because fuck them, frankly. But if you can at least, he's there for a humanitarian mission, take it seriously. Why you're asking him about Andrew when he has nothing to do with it, when he doesn't live in London, I will never understand. So yeah, we have more, guys.
Despite tensions rising in the Middle East, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have visited Jordan. Harry and Meghan supporting the refugees in the region. They've visited a hospital and schools, and they've also held a roundtable discussion with the World Health Organization. Jane?
Yeah. And this is it.
Despite tensions rising in the Middle East, the
Instead
Duke and Duchess of Sussex have visited Jordan. Harry and
Catherine,
Meghan support.
This is how you use your... Okay. I forgot I had this picture of kids. I love this post. While Kate spends our tax money on a £3,000 coat to chat about mental health in the rain, Meghan and Harry are quietly put 400,000 of their own cash money into medical evacuations for war-torn children. Yeah. And let's come back to what I was saying about Gaza. I want us to remember, take away the key things that guy said, right? The US has cut off aid to WHO because Trump is a tit, right? These are human beings. And the 400,000, the 500,000, and Tedros said it that by Harry and Meghan giving money, more people give money. More people gave money. Individuals shouldn't have to be doing this. This war, this genocide that is going on is America. And America, in my personal opinion, America pulled the aid from WHO intentionally to punish the Gaza refugees. A humanitarian corridor should have been created. Independent journalists, food, medical supplies, the injured should have been removed. What is going on in Gaza is evil. And by Harry and Meghan making this global news, we have that conversation again. So ask yourself, derangers or anybody who hates Meghan or Harry, you claim that Harry and instead of bitching and complaining because you are all jealous that Meghan is loved by Harry, how about you thank them for using their platform and the celebrity they most likely don't even want, but you forced on them because you won't leave them alone, British press, using their platform to bring attention to something good. Instead of complaining that, oh, they stopped supporting somebody who used offensive artistry to call out war crimes. This is them using their voice, putting their bodies in danger to bring attention and putting their money where their mouth is. How many of you have done that? Oh, and Kate looks, Jesus Christ. Kate looks terrible. Looking like someone's grandma. Oh, I liked this. Let's listen. So Jeremy Vine, that bitch ass, raised the stupid question because this is how his ass gets ratings. Does the royal family need Harry and Meghan back? I love this. Let's listen to this.
There were original.
Now, Alicia in London, hi.
Hi there.
Hey.
Hi.
What do you think?
So my point is, what the better question might be, why would Prince Harry and Meghan actually want to return as publicly funded royals? There were original conditions that caused them to step back, and one of them was press targeting, and we're sort of seeing that on the conversation today, where Emma and Kelvin are spreading misinformation, where they claim that it was the Harry and Meghan's attacks which ruined, caused all the problems. But as you yourself, Jeremy, have said, there were palace briefings against them, which started back in 2018, and even things like the story around, bridesmaid tears, that came from the palace. So as far as that type of thing is concerned, I can't see that condition has changed.
We've got to sort of park all that, haven't we? That's all water under the bridge now. We're going to assume let's say we can get them back, because let's say.
My point.
I thought you said your point. Sorry.
Yeah, my point is that certain conditions, things like press targeting and press misinformation, hasn't changed. As far as I can see, there's still press attacks happening. Like, I've seen a really disgusting article saying that Meghan is worse than Andrew, which is obviously completely not true. And that is still going on today with complete silence from the royal family.
I don't know anything about what you just said. I don't know what that's all about.
Exactly.
Yeah, so but listen, you've sort of said a lot there, and obviously predicated on all of this. Alicia, sorry, don't just keep talking. On all of this is predicated that we could get them back because they might want to come back. And you're quite right, Alicia. They might just say no.
Yeah, so my point is that where certain conditions haven't changed, they're going off and they're doing incredible work, as we're seeing in Jordan today, for example. They're supporting their causes, and they're doing it independent of public funding, and they're obviously
charity,
able to. Yeah, exactly. So what would be the appeal to them for actually wanting to come back? It kind of seems that, when things are going wrong with the royal family, then there's always these appeals that, maybe we should get Harry and Meghan back.
I feel like I hope you feel you've had enough time, Alicia. I don't mean to in any way cut you off, but that's very wise.
Idiot. And what I love about it is, guys, I love how she started the program by saying the two panelists are even doing it right now. You people are spreading misinformation. You're not telling the truth of what really happened. And again, this is something that I think a lot of people probably knew this, but what I'm loving about the Windsor fallout is everybody now is seeing this for what it is. The attacks of Harry and Meghan has always been about the protection of the Windsors. Now that Harry and Meghan for almost 6 years have completely removed themselves from that machinery and still get invited to countries for humanitarian, Invictus, and all that purposes, what and why will they come back to the British royal family fold? They have clearly exceeded them in every single way. I mean, look, I want to remind everybody, sorry, this picture popped up on my head. I want to remind everybody that this woman is younger than Meghan. I want to remind everybody this man is younger than Meghan. Let me just remind them of you. Oh, of course, Matt Wilkinson. This is the headlines of your tax-paid royal families. Genuinely crazy day in Wales. I'm only half joking when I say I'd be surprised if there was anybody in Newton and who didn't meet Kate and William. Yes, that's the exact same thing as appealing for a humanitarian corridor for victims of violence and war crimes in Gaza. You see how the British media, you see how Jeremy Vine rushed her off the call because she was making sense. His panelists were lying. The caller said, your panelists are lying. They are lying. They are liars. These people just come online and lie. Did they forget that people are not stupid? People have ways of getting independent information. Yes, there are some derangers that shout loudly, but the average public, especially when you compare Pedo Windsor to the Sussexes, I mean, I keep saying it, guys. The tide is turning. If it hasn't already turned, the worm has turned. And honestly, it's about bloody time. See? Harry and Meghan are meeting war refugees. See that? See that? You see the attention they're bringing?
Mahmoud needs to go outside to get some blocks. 14-year-old shaking.
Could have, what's that? Excuse me, sir.
All I'm hoping for, honestly, Let's take away the celebrity from it. I'm hoping that this motivates people. One, don't forget about Gaza. Don't forget about the refugees. If you can give money, if you can raise awareness, do your part. If you really love them, it's not just shouting at Harry and Meghan and screaming and letting. If you claim that you care about them so much, you care about the causes they care about, stop whining about the titles. That is none of your business. And go and actually do some good in this world for Gaza. And for people that are suffering, not just Gaza, Sudan, Africa, Congo, you know. Of course, this is the British media. Look at the nonsense that they are posting. You see, this is how you know that they are panicking. Harry and Meghan snubbed by Jordan's royal family. Okay. How do you know that they didn't meet them? King Abdullah and his eldest son, who have a close relationship with William and Charles, swerve meeting the royals. I don't know if this is true or not. I find that hard to believe, actually. But if it is true, they're most likely criminals. So I'm really sure Harry and Meghan don't give a shit. Oh, the Telegraph have some balls. Harry and Meghan's Jordan trip show what an asset they could have been. Girl, bye. Some more video. Shout out to Josephine from the trip. Oh, I can't play sound. Sorry. I don't want to get demonetized. So some videos that were taken by WHO. And you know what I love about this stuff? Because they are the ones that invited Harry and Meghan, they are controlling the press. They are controlling the information that's coming out there. And I love it. That is exactly how it should be. And I want to remind everybody from what I said on Wednesday. Harry and Meghan invited the press for transparency to Nigeria. They insulted Nigeria. They insulted our government. They harassed people. They were being a nuisance. They really just completely tried to destroy the value of the trip. It was so bad that the president's wife had to come out and issue a clarification because her words were intentionally twisted to make Meghan look bad. And since then, not only have they banned the British royal family from coming anywhere near any of their tours, one, they have ensured we will give you the world, not just the press, what we want to give you. There is no sound. Of course, the press are snitching and bitching about it. I'm like, well, you were giving access that I didn't think you deserved, and you abused it. So go kick rocks. Skeletor and her husband looking stupid as usual. Again, I only put that picture there because every time I see kids, Kaiser celebrity, yes. I was going to read that Telegraph article, but I'm not going to pay money. So I was waiting for Kaiser, who I love, for Kaiser to kind of drag the William is a cunt. Shout out to Kaiser. The Telegraph, the palace should find a way for Prince Harry and Meghan. The audacity. Let me see if I want to read that. Let me just go straight to the article. The excerpts from the article. Watching the Duke and Duchess of Sussex on their World Health on their WHO trip, I found myself humming and homage to John Lennon. Imagine there's no Megxit. It's easy if you try. Go F yourself. As I looked at the photos of the duo visiting refugees and a rehabilitation center for addicts, I couldn't help but be reminded of when the pre-bus stop couple radiated down-to-earth sympathy and cheer with a generous dose of Hollywood glamour. I was certainly part of the co-host who thought the unstuffy ex-army prince and his gorgeous, bright starlet wife were a breath of fresh air in an overly staid family. And now I'm feeling a swell of nostalgia for that honeymoon period with the Sussexes in the wake of Prince Andrew's disgrace and the inevitable tarnishing effect on his poor daughter's Let me not keep reading this nonsense. Members of the family who are divorced from the scandal have never felt so welcome. However regrettable the tell-all memoir and the Oprah interview, it's hard to deny that when Harry and Meghan do a walkabout and chat to people who have suffered, they have the public touch. My husband, who has little truck with the royals in general, feels sympathy for Harry, not just because they are both from uptight armed services families and lost their mothers when they were little boys. A shared sense of suffering is certainly a part of it. What he loves is the Duke's sense of fun. Around 5 times a year, my spouse says, apropos of nothing, a great loss, then I find he's reading a story about the Sussexes. My sons, who are part of the TikTok generation, also feel warmly towards them while not giving a hoot or even recognizing any of the Windsors. It often feels to me like Heineken. Harry refreshes the parts of other Windsors cannot reach. What? He has his mother's easy charm and playfulness, which William, burdened by the crown, worries over his wife, LOL, and his father's health were under pressure of raising a family in the public eye had to manifest. So Harry is not raising a family in the public eye. Anyway, you sense that the Sussexes are also deeply aware of what's being forfeited in their impetuous departure. Why else the regular, dutiful, quasi-royal visits to Colombia, Nigeria, Canada, and Jordan, often in the cause of the Invictus Games that studiously emulate the kind of trips they took when they were still part of the firm. Whatever your view on the matter, it's ironic that at the very moment, even when loyal souls question the royal family's remit, funding, veil of secrecy, and questionable advisors, the couple who most appeal to Republicans and outsiders exist in what appears to be a permanent exile. This bitch is high. If they were still part of the firm, God forbid, this would be the moment to deploy them. God forbid. Indeed, a canny courtier would pack the duo off to visit women's shelters and charities that combat sex trafficking as a riposte to the critics who think the Windsors don't give a damn. And an epic family reunion could knock Andrew off the front pages. You may call me a dreamer. Go fuck yourself, frankly. But could the palace blue sky thinkers find a path back for Harry and Meghan? Okay, let me be very clear. Harry and Meghan, and anyway, Harry has already said it. I don't know. Harry is not coming back. Meghan is not coming back. I need you people to rest. This is delusion that Harry and Meghan secretly want to come back. And the only thing that's stopping them is King Charles and Prince William's refusal. While it is true that Charles and William would throw the biggest schnitz and bitching ever if the Sussexes came back to live in the UK, what everybody is missing is that the Sussexes have repeatedly said they live in America now. Their family is there. They are not moving. Harry wants protection to visit his family and do charity work. Harry wants to bring his kids over so that they can spend time with their grandfather. That's it. All these convoluted, idiotic commentary pieces about bring back the Sussexes. Harry will eventually have a rival court in England. Miss the simple fact that Harry and Meghan have no interest to live in that shit show anymore. T. Besides which, they already have a rival court, and it is in Montecito, which the press have no access to. No leaks in Montecito. And that is the part that drives them crazy. I mean, what else is there to say? But I guess papers need to be sold, so the bullshit needs to continue to be sold. Okay. Oh yes, one thing I should also point out, in the backdrop of the disgraceful BAFTAs, where Prince William has still not released any statement as the patron of the BAFTAs, Harry and Meghan released a pre-recorded video for the NAACP Image Awards. William, you are a cunt. This is Meghan doing her humanitarian work before the British royal family. Meghan has always been true to this. I cannot wait for Meghan to get some red lipstick. Meghan, when are we getting red lipstick from you, girl? Oh, guys, I decided to bring a little bit of comedy. So I don't know if you guys saw my video on Wednesday where I posted an excerpt where Channel 5 continues to cycle delusion. Where they are trying to, I don't know if it's a joke at this, it has to be a joke. They have to be indirectly dragging the Middletons, just like they indirectly drag Kate. Can you, and guys, let me just, this is Kate Middleton's mother. This is the woman that birthed Kate. Look at how she looks and look at Kate. Why does Kate, that is at least 20 years her junior, look older than her mom? Why is Kate's mom not trying to get help for her child who is obviously struggling with an eating disorder? But she wants to get that royal title though. From the Daily Mail. Prince William may rewrite the fabric of the monarchy, LOL, to give Kate's parents a greater role, royal experts have delusionally claimed. Again, guys, remember, when they keep on churning out these documentaries, they have to have some stupid topic to talk about. And in this case, it would not surprise me if the Middletons dropped a few bob here and there to get them to write this and release that stupid documentary. A new Channel 5 documentary explores the influence that Carol and Michael wield within the inner sanctum of the royal family and asks the question, should the Middletons be given titles? Like I said, guys, comedy. Airing on Saturday, the show explores the idea that Carol and Michael Middleton, is that their name? Wow. Could counteract the reputational chaos inflicted by Andrew. You know what? You know what? Do it. William, Charles, do it. Do it. At this point, what do you have to lose? The Daily Mail, Sarah Vine, in the 21st century, royalty is about how you behave. It's not a given. And if the royal family is anything in this day and age, it is not. It's to set an example. It's to uphold certain standards. And Andrew broke those rules. And so he's no longer here. But it means that a door is open for other people to become royal through their behavior. And royal commentators believe William could give his in-laws the royal seal of approval while counting on their stability, decency, British values, aka whiteness, and sense of humor to navigate the crisis surrounding their uncle's friendship with the pedophile. Isn't one of the Middleton's uncles a pedo? I could have sworn I read that somewhere that he was arrested for abusing young girls in Asia, something like that. To make Carol and Michael working royals, William would have to completely rewrite the fabric of the monarchy. Jack Royston says. But the guy does say he wants change. He wants change. Anything is possible. The Middletons just have this aura of kindness. And I think the Middletons are very much that safety net. Again, the Middletons have clearly gone to go and beg Channel 5 to give them a documentary. I don't know. The balcony is clearly that dire that they are going as far as getting Carol Middleton, who appears to be a lush and a social climber, who I have to give props where props are due, managed to get all three of her children very rich partners. And I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't think we can. Do I think William is going to make these two clowns, a member of the royal family? You know what? At this point, sure. Of course, it wouldn't surprise me. William is a stupid person, but you have to also remember that William's advisors are just as stupid as him. So honestly, for the comedy of it, why not? Aura of kindness. Tell that to all the small businesses they failed to pay back. Tell that to all of their creditors who got effed by Carol's lies. Anyway, it's been a minute since Middleton HQ pushed this type of stupid bullshit. Scooter King could give his mother-in-law a title. Of course he won't. The Middletons should be thanking their lucky star. They got so much out of the 2024 negotiations. They now have a 150-acre fake estate in Windsor. They have lowered the bar to the pits of hell when it comes to expectations on Kate's work schedule. And Carol can attend Ascot and Wimbledon without anybody heckling her or calling her a fraud. Take the win and don't push it. William's not going to make Carol into the Baroness of Bucklebury anytime soon. I love that. I keep forgetting about the 2024 negotiations. It's obvious they got something out of it. I didn't realize they got an estate in Windsor, though. Shout out to them. That was good negotiating. That's what I'm saying. Say what you want about Carol Middleton. And I had no idea her husband's name was Michael. That was a shock to me. I'm like, oh, is it Michael? I don't know why I always thought it was Gary. Bloody hell. Anyway, I'm going to read this because I think this is going to be funny. So apparently, I know Celebrity likes dragging Kate, but this wouldn't surprise me if this was actually the title of the article. Prince William and Kate's day in Wales was a huge success because they weren't booed. Okay. Except from the article. The Prince and Princess of Wales were told the monarchy is safe in your hands. I find that hard to believe. As crowds turned to greet them when they on a visit to Wales, there were hugs and selfies, and a little girl wearing a plastic crown who held onto the leg of the princess and looked like she might never let go. While visiting the Lalas before St. David's Day on Sunday, the royal couple stopped their car in the pouring rain to meet hundreds of people who had turned out to see them. After the arrest of Prince Andrew a week ago, sighs of relief must be almost audible all the way from Buckingham Palace. In recent weeks, public anger about Andrew has spilt on the streets during royal engagements, and senior members of the family have not been exempt. The King, Queen, William, and Kate have all been subject to heckles by people asking what the royal family knew about Prince Andrew's Epstein connections. The outbursts have been rare and contained, but have nevertheless rattled courtiers. William could not escape the scandal on his money laundering trip to Saudi Arabia this month when a spokesman felt compelled to say that the prince was deeply concerned, guys, about the allegations surrounding his uncle in such febrile times. And away day was high stakes, but it paid off. Crowds huddled under their umbrellas for hours. I find that hard to believe. To catch a glimpse of William and Kate in a scene described by one observer, the press, as Wales mania. Like all good guests, they did their bit, lingering longer than expected to greet people who had turned out to see them, accepting offers of hospitality from Welsh cake to cider. If I'm offered a glass of cider, I'm having a glass of cider, William said. There were obligatory jokes about the British weather. I'm so sorry, William said, joking they usually brought the sunshine, but this time they had failed. What? Kate said that unfortunately, she had brought an umbrella for herself, adding, thank goodness somebody had reminded her to bring. Don't forget that picture of children soaking in the rain so that Kate could do, what was it? What was that game show? God. Oh, every time these people talk, they're like toddlers. Anyway, yeah. So the British media is determined to remind all of us, Kate and William are popular guys. The streets were lined up, and it brought back the memory of the Queen and Prince Philip visiting in the 90s. What? When asked about Welsh language, William said, I use Duolingo a lot. I do Swahili on it. In his mind, this is his statement for BAFTAs, I'm sure. Oh my God. This was tiring to read. This was tiring to read, y'all. But they got what they wanted out of it. They want to remind everybody the monarchy is fine. The monarchy is okay because everybody is stupid. Anyway, like I said, Harry and Meghan, the real and the only royals we're talking about, continue to do good things. They did once again the NAACP viral moment. I, I'm back to the picture of Kate. Honestly, every time I see this picture, I get scared. I've had too much chocolate. My tummy is turning. And I want to play. I find this guy a bit long-winded. So I was going to play him, but I won't. He said something about Meghan that really pissed me off, actually. Should I play him? Okay, fine. I'll play him for you guys. The things I do because I love you people.
World Health Organization. Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, have arrived in Amman in Jordan for a 2-day humanitarian visit focused on refugees, health systems, and children displaced by conflict. The invitation came from Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the Director General of the World Health Organization. The setting matters. Jordan sits at the center of regional displacement, hosting millions of refugees over the past decade from Syria, Iraq, and now Gaza. In Amman, they attended a WHO roundtable with UN bodies, diplomats, and major donors. The focus was regional humanitarian health response. Jordan has built a reputation for medical coordination across borders, clinics along refugee corridors, vaccination drives, mental health services for traumatized children. The Sussexes are positioning themselves alongside these efforts. They will visit frontline health and mental health programs. They will meet staff from World Central Kitchen, which is coordinating food relief for Gaza from Jordanian territory. They will also visit QuestScope, a youth development organization working with marginalized young people through education and well-being programs. Through their Archwell Foundation, they have supported initiatives to medically evacuate children from Gaza for urgent treatment to neighboring countries. This is practical intervention, flights, surgery, trauma care, not rhetoric. The timing is delicate. The royal family is facing renewed crisis following the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Harry has remained publicly silent, yet the contrast is unavoidable. One branch of the family is embroiled in legal controversy, another is on the ground in a humanitarian setting, speaking the language of global health equity. The Sussex brand, as globally oriented rather than court-centred, they are not campaigning on domestic royal matters. They are embedding themselves within multilateral networks. The WHO partnership dates back to vaccine equity campaigns and a joint event at the UN General Assembly in 2021. This trip extends that trajectory. It shifts focus from celebrity advocacy to systems-level health policy. It places mental health at the centre. Both Harry and Meghan have constantly foregrounded trauma, digital harm, psychological resilience in previous visits here and Nigeria. And in Jordan, the emphasis moves from social media harm to war-related trauma. The thematic thread is continuity of care. Critics will argue that without formal diplomatic authority, such visits risk theatricality. Supporters will counter that influence today operates through convening power, philanthropy, and media amplification. The couple still command global coverage. When they walk into a WHO roundtable, cameras follow. That attention converts into donor interest. I make no secret of my support of Harry and Meghan. Jordan itself benefits from their visit. The country has long balanced regional instability with internal moderation. Highlighting its humanitarian leadership enhances diplomatic standing and supports continued international funding. For Harry, personally, there is also narrative coherence. His work with the Invictus Games centered on wounded veterans and recovery. Refugee children represent a different theatre of injury, yet the same moral frame of rehabilitation and dignity. For Meghan, whose advocacy often focuses on women and young people, QuestScope's youth programs align with earlier campaigns on girls' education and digital well-being. The larger question is whether this marks consolidation. Since stepping back in 2020, the Sussexes have oscillated between media production, memoir, and advocacy. This visit feels more structured, anchored to an established international agency, embedded within ongoing programs rather than standalone speeches. Jordan is not a random destination, it is a strategic humanitarian hub. Amman coordinates logistics for Gaza relief. Refugee health systems there function as a testing ground for crisis response. If the Sussexes wish to be seen as serious actors in global development, then this is the correct terrain. The royal family crisis provides background noise. Yet on the steps of the WHO office in Amman, the optics are disciplined. No palace balcony, no constitutional symbolism. Instead, global governance language, health equity, displacement, trauma recovery. In practical terms, the impact will be measured in funding flows and program continuity. If their presence leads to increased donor pledges or sustained evacuation pathways for children requiring surgery, then the visit moves beyond symbolism.
Yes.
In reputational terms, the visit reinforces a simple proposition. Harry and Meghan have chosen to operate outside the institution, yet not outside public life. Jordan becomes a stage on which they present an alternative model of post-royal influence, networked, philanthropic, international. The coming months will show whether this is episodic or sustained. For now, in Amman, the emphasis is clear: refugees, health systems, children in crisis, and a couple determined to frame their public role around those themes rather than palace turbulence.
That wasn't so bad. Like I said, I find him long-winded, but that was good. That was very good. And he's right. I've already said this, right? It's not by going to harass children in Wales looking like someone that hasn't eaten in 10 years. It's about what you do in the world, how you use your platform to bring attention. And look, the British media can lie all they want, they can spread misinformation all they want. The people that are paying attention are paying attention. Harry and Meghan will be invited to more things. Because if they can bring this type of global attention, of course they'll be invited to more things. More charities will want them to come, show up and do good, bring attention to our cause. And if it's something that they support, it can only be good.
And hey, if your wings are broken, please take.
Like I said, I can't play sound because of this thing, but you can see Harry and Meghan meeting. And again, anybody who's going to come into my chat and say that they are doing on their titles, I want you to use the one brain cell you have, pack the titles, and think about how incredible this is. Skeletor and her husband, who is inviting them? There's nothing stopping them from going on their own trips, but nobody is inviting them anyway. Why? Because Kate can't talk and William can't read, and they have nothing, absolutely nothing to bring to the table. If they want real influence, real power, real international seriousness, real statesman and stateswomanship, they invite Harry and Meghan. And that is all you need to know, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever your feelings are about the books, about Oprah, about how they left, it doesn't take away the fact that these two, with their own grit, hard work, intentionality, seriousness, this reputation they had, they built it without the palace. 6 years. It's been 6 years. It's been 6 years. Find another excuse. And yeah, strip their title, doesn't do anything. I said it before. You know what? At this point, take it. Take it. It won't stop them from being Harry and Meghan. So yeah, all it would do is just bring, with this terrible reputation the Windsors currently have, this will just show them as heartless, stupid, and since they've already shown that they are short-sighted, this will just verify for everyone. So yeah, do what you want to do. And look at Meghan's face. You see her getting emotional. You see Harry getting emotional. It's beautiful. If people like these can use their platform to bring awareness, to bring hope, then I don't know what our tax money is doing with Skeletor and Billy Idol. Like I said, those two can't read. So I guess it's for the best they stay where they are. And just a reminder, Kate, Meghan is younger than is older than Kate. I don't know why Kate is looking like she's somebody's. Hell, Kate's mom is older than her. I don't know why Kate is looking like she's looking older than Meghan and her mom. So I don't know what Kate is going for while she's starving herself like that. I don't know. If she thinks that she can look like Meghan, really? That Wouldn't surprise me. She's always copying Meghan's style. Anyway, wouldn't surprise me if she thinks starving herself is going to give her Meghan's angle. She looks terrible, by the way. And that wig is not doing her any favors.